Hey everyone, Jonathan here, and it's the month of April, but I'm doing my March comic book rewind because in the month of March, oh my gosh, did I find a lot of comic books. I've really enjoyed going through month by month and showing you all the comics I found that month, and March just got really busy with my 10-year anniversary, but today we're going to catch up. So I added some DC this time around. Robin #1, which should be really exciting to read. I found this really cool one, Superman in Green Lantern. This is a very old comic book. I'm actually excited to read it because in all these I haven't had much DC yet, and check out the Lego ad on the back. Oh my gosh, it doesn't get any cooler than that. Speaking of which, we've also got Fantastic Four. This one is Into the Negative Zone. Just such a cool, I don't want to say classic cover. It's in pretty rough condition, but still really, really cool cover there. Here we have Thor #440, which was the first appearance of the Thor Corps, which of course would also be used again in Secret Wars. So assuming that we see the Thor Corps in the MCU Secret Wars, I very well could see this issue going up in value. Here we've got in classic X-Men Dark Phoenix saga story. Now, my understanding and belief with this is that this is like retelling X-Men stories from earlier. But I could be wrong, but I just think the cover is cool, and of course, anything from Dark Phoenix is a win. I honestly cannot remember if I showed you guys this comic before. I'm moving my lights because it's reflecting off of it, but I found Eternals #1. This is from the late 70s for sure, but Eternals #1, really, really cool book. I honestly can't remember if I showed you this in a previous haul or not, but I'm excited to read that. I'm sure it's nothing like the movie, but whatever. Here is Avengers #300. Anytime you get those big monumental number issues, like issue #1, issue #10, 25, 50, like numbers that just feel right, something cool usually happens. So in this one, we get a brand new Avengers team this time around, with, of course, the Captain, Steve Rogers, Gilgamesh, Thor, Mr. Fantastic, and Sue Storm. So very, very cool. I'm really excited to read that one, actually. Now here, I picked these up in two separate places, but I got Indiana Jones #1 and #2. #2 has a Lego ad on the back. It doesn't get much cooler than that, but this picks up after Raiders of the Lost Ark, actually, which is quite cool. And these are non-canon stories. It's just, you know, when it comes to Indiana Jones, we don't have all that much, just the 5 movies, so anytime you can read more stories, that's always cool. To that point, I got all of the books, all 4 of them, from the Fate of Atlantis story for Indiana Jones. So that's the complete set. Very excited for that. I'm going to breeze through these real quick, but Indiana Jones of the Iron Phoenix, all 4 issues of that to read as well. Here we have the comic book adaptations of Temple of Doom. So you can see we've got, you know, the beginning of the movie, the middle of the movie, and the end of the movie, all retold in classic Marvel comic book fashion. Along those lines, I've got all 3 issues of Raiders of the Lost Ark, which it's just going to be really fun to read those in comic book form and, like, see how close it is to, like, the actual dialogue in the movie. Here we have The Last Crusade, of course, the flashback sequence at the beginning, then the Italy scene. There's actually 4 from this one, Indy and his dad, and then, of course, the end of the movie with the tank and the Holy Grail, so that's really cool. This one, I don't think it's a significant issue or anything, but for $4, I just thought that that was a really cool cover. Speaking of which, I like to read these, and the ones that I already have doubles of or things like that, sometimes these will pop up in my Whatnot shows. So I'll drop a link down below where you can get $15 free to spend if you sign up for Whatnot with my link and you're brand new, because this one will eventually show up on my Whatnot stream. This is the first appearance of the Cyborg Spider-Man, which we will be seeing in Lego form with that Lego Spider-Man visual dictionary coming out later this year in 2025. So I thought I'd get this, hold on to it for a little bit. Here we've got all 4 issues of Indiana Jones and the Arms of Gold, another story to read. All the issues of Indiana Jones and the Spear of Destiny. The artwork on these Dark Horse era indie comics are so cool and so deep. Of course, he teams up with his dad again in that one, so that's cool. Both issues of Indiana Jones and the Golden Fleece. Can you tell I like Indy? Okay, so after that, I found all 4 issues of the Iceman limited series. So that's issue 1 and 2. issue number 3 with all the X-Men and even Ghost Rider on there, and issue number 4, so that's a complete story. These were really cheap, and I found them all together in a long box back to back, so I'm like, well, the fact that I could get the entire story and read the entire story is pretty cool. Now, this is what's called a facsimile, which means it was a later reprinting of the first appearance of Deadpool in the New Mutants number 98. Of course, this is classic Rob Liefeld era. First appearance of Domino, too, if I'm not mistaken, but yeah, I found this one really cheap, too. And like I said, it's not an original one, so it's not worth, like, hundreds and hundreds of dollars, but it'll be pretty cool to, like, read the first Deadpool story. Look how cool the art is in there. It's going to be great to read. I'm very excited about that. Here we've got just the classic Iron Man cover, number 249, Iron Man and Doctor Doom, and obviously, knowing what we know now about where the MCU's headed, it's a lot more exciting. Okay, so this one is a part of the True Believers line, which, just like the Deadpool one we looked at, is where Marvel goes back and reissues comic books so that you can read old issues. And of course, these are old Ant-Man and the Wasp comics, so we've got Wasp carrying Ant-Man there against this giant green monster. I've not read it yet, but it's a Jack Kirby 100 celebration and just a cool reprint, so I thought that was fun. Now, this is actually an entire series here. This is Miss Marvel number 1. I picked up all of these off the same seller over on Whatnot. I can't remember if I showed these in a previous video, but I'm like 99% sure I didn't. So this is the first appearance of Carol Danvers as Miss Marvel in her own story, which is really cool. So I have issue number 1, issue number 2, and I've read issue number 1 but haven't read the rest of these yet, but she's actually fighting Scorpion as her first villain, so how crazy is that? But we got issue number 3. Just the classic art on these is so cool from, I guess this would be from the late, 1976 is what this one says, so mid to late 70s on these. There we've got Vision with Carol Danvers. There we go. This is issue number 7 and issue number 8, so all first 8 issues of Miss Marvel, and I guess I went through everything. So this is a really fun haul in the month of March. Really enjoyed it, and I am just loving collecting comic books. So if you guys have picked up any comics lately, let me know what you found out there, of course, and let me know what your favorite book in this haul was. I'll be back probably at the end of April. I want to try to do them like on the last day or 2 of every month to say everything that I got in that month. Obviously, I'm posting this one pretty early in April, so it's time to get back out there hunting and finding more cool stuff. So let me know what you found, let me know your favorite parts of this haul, and I'll see you on the next video.